welcome to the preview and the predicted lineup. Arsenal against Athletic Bilbao. The previews are back. And listen, it's the Emirates Cup. One game before the Premier League season starts next weekend. The time is ticking. The clock is ticking. And I want to go into that game next weekend at Manchester United on the back of a win, on the back of a good performance. Obviously, we saw midweek against Villarreal a defeat. You know, we witnessed a defeat, and yeah, it weren't the greatest. I'll definitely say that it wasn't the greatest at all. Obviously, I look at that Villarreal game and think, analyse from that game on Wednesday, and take it into this one, and think, what can we work on? You know, I think that was more than a strong enough team to go out there on Wednesday and get the job done. Don't give me that, you know, those excuses, and obviously I was at the game on Wednesday, so it's like I've got a better view, I've got a better perspective of what's actually going on, you know. Whereas if you're watching it on telly, like, you can't see the small movements that players are making off the ball and this and that. I saw quite a few players making some really good runs, you know, especially at the edges of the 6-yard box. You know, players like Ethan Waneri, and he was driving through the midfield like crazy. You know, Max Dalman, when he came on, looked very fucking good against Villarreal. But I feel the way Athletic Bilbao are going to set up is put 10 men behind the ball. You know, they're going to come here, you know, and they're going to want to bring it to a penalty shootout. They're going to want to bring it to right down to the wire with Arsenal. You know, because for them to come to the Emirates and beat us would be phenomenal for them. You know, of course, a familiar name is going to be coming back to haunt us. Nico Williams. We all remember the saga with him, the transfer saga, this and that. And listen, he signed a 10-year contract at Athletic Bilbao. It just shows his loyalty. I can't speak, to the club. And the Villarreal fans, sorry, the Athletic Bilbao fans, I should say, must be really happy to have him still part of their squad this season. You know, still part of selection. And obviously, you know, Villarreal, they came and beat us. You know, Athletic Bilbao are going to want to do the same. Although I think they will go with quite a defensive structure. I think they will sit up, as I've said, like already, 10 men behind the ball, and just see it out for a penalty shootout in the end. You know, and we need to beat them. And I think if we go into the Manchester United game next week off the back of a win in the Emirates Cup, you get where I'm going. You can keep that momentum going, and you've got something to look back on and think, analyse the Bilbao game, we take that into the Manchester United game, but we go full force at Old Trafford. And look, I would change the lineup up a little bit. You know, I'd give players a go, I'd give players opportunities, you know, because I do feel I want to rest a few names for that trip to Old Trafford next weekend, you know. And you know, it's a very hard start we have to the Premier League season, I tell you that, but that's a video for another day. Like I say, probably the danger man to watch for Bilbao are the Williams brothers, Inaki Williams and Nico Williams. Two quality players, and two players who can cause you some serious problems. Two players who have proved it in the Champions League. Two players who have proved it in La Liga, that they are quality wingers, you know. And you know, we just have to wait and see, you know. And I want to see goals. I want to see goals going in left, right and centre, you know. I want to be getting the ball in the box as much as possible, and whoever's there, you need to be finishing your dinner. You need to be finishing your chances, you know. And listen, with that said, For the first time this season, let's go and get into the predicted lineup. Starting off in goal, Kepa. I'd give Kepa a go. I'd start him from the start. I think he's coming off the bench over the last few games and has looked really good. You know, two games and saved 4 penalties. That's really good. You know, he's a shot stopper at your finest. He's better at one-on-one situations. And if you're coming up against the likes of Nico Williams and Inaki Williams, that's what you're going to need. A goalkeeper who can stop the likes of those kind of players. For me, Kepa Arrizabalaga should start in goal for this game. Save David Raya, give him a rest for Old Trafford next weekend. But for this, Kepa. Into the back four, left back, I'd keep Miles Lewis-Skelly there. I don't think we have much other option. Obviously, Calafiori's returned to training. That doesn't mean he's going to start. And I can't see Zinchenko starting, so it's going to be Miles Lewis-Skelly. Into centre-back partnership, first of all, in that kind of left-sided role, Jakub Kiwior, I think he will keep his place. I think he will get the nod ahead of Gabriel. Get Gabriel fired up and ready for next weekend away at Manchester United. You get one. You get the point. You know. You get the picture. One or the other of the two centre backs gets rested. For me, it's Gabriel. Simple. Next to him, next to Kiwior will be William Saliba. I think he will play. I had thoughts about putting Mosquera there, but I don't think Mosquera's quite ready yet to start. So for me, William Saliba. Right back will be Ben White. That's a straightforward choice. Been exceptional. He's been excellent. You know, I think he's probably been one of our best players this pre-season, and the rotation between him and Timber this season is going to be interesting to see who's going to be starting more games, to see who's going to be starting the bigger games, who's going to be starting the cup games and this and that and, you know, whatsoever. But for me, for this game, Ben White. Into the midfield, in that number 6 role, that defensive midfielder role just above the defence, Martin Zubimendi. I'd start him. I think him coming off the bench, you don't see much of him. I feel him when he starts, he's a lot better. You get to see the more creative side of him, the more expansive side of him, the more advanced side of him is the word I'm looking for. And you get to see him at his finest and his best, you know. You really do. And I think Zubimendi can be a quality player for us once he starts to really kick on. And I think he's already been excellent. I think he's been exceptional since he's come in. But I don't want it to be a case where Christian Norgard starts this game and then Christian Norgard starts at Old Trafford and then Zubimendi starts against Leeds. I don't want that. I know I want to play Zubimendi at Old Trafford, but I'd take Zubimendi off probably maybe at half time and bring on Christian Norgard for the second half. That's what you can do. But for this, I'd start Martin Zubimendi. Just in front of him will be Declan Rice. I feel he will get the nod. I feel that midfield partnership of Zubimendi, Rice, I feel that's going to be the one that works. I don't feel Norgard, Marino works, or Zubimendi, Marino work, or whoever. I think for me, if you're playing Zubimendi, you have to play Rice. It's that simple. Into the attacking three, on the left-hand side, Noni Madueke. I'd start him for this game. You know, I think he looked really good when he come on against Villarreal. I think when he got past his first man, he put a good ball in, but Moreno missed the header and it come back out then. But I feel with Madueke, if he can really have a go, I feel if he can really exploit down that left-hand side, he'd have a good chance at getting a goal or an assist. I'm not even joking. He's going to be some player for us. Trust me when I say this, Noni Madueke is going to be some fucking player for us. Through the middle, Ethan Nwaneri, I feel he will get the nod ahead of Odegaard through the middle. I think he played there Wednesday night. I think he looked really good. I think he looked really fucking good. You know, I think he's he's better there than he is on the right hand side. He's better. He's more explosive. You get to see the better side of him, and I just think that's where he's going to play. And I think that's where he should be playing. On the right hand side, the captain Bukayo Saka. I thought that one's quite a straightforward choice, if I'm honest with you. And up front, as the main striker, will be Kai Havertz, back in the team, back in the squad. I feel the only reason Victor Gyökeres started on Wednesday is because Arteta didn't have much other option. It was either that or Marino. And I feel the thing Arteta was going to do with Victor Gyökeres is I think he's going to do a bit like what he did with I forgot who it was he did it with. He did it with someone, and he brought them on earlier and earlier. So for example, you start Havertz in this and then you bring Gyökeres on for the second half. And then, you start Havertz in this and you bring Gyökeres on in the 60th minute. Next game, Old Trafford, you start Havertz, you bring Gyökeres on in the 50th minute, for example. You get where I'm going with it, don't you? Until Gyökeres is securely, mentally knows what he's going to do. I think it's going to be Kai Havertz who starts this game, and it could potentially be Kai Havertz who starts at Manchester United as well. But listen, Kai Havertz for me. Gonna be a big season for him as well. Gonna see what happens with him, whether he gets as much games as he did last season, or if he gets more or less. You know, it's gonna be interesting. Questions need to be asked. So yeah, listen. First preview done of the season, you know, buzzing to be back doing these. The summer's gone by so quick, you know, and the season's a week away, so I thought, fuck it, I always do it for the Emirates Cup, so why not? Just why not? So listen, if you're new around here, smash like in the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you lot soon. I'm out of here.